right, everyone. What a game, huh? Oh man, Kraken have now won two in a row on Marshawn Lynch and Macklemore owner day. Matty Beniers scores again. I mean, what more could you want? I mean, it's just so fun being a Kraken fan right now. Just an awesome game. So glad Dylan got to be there for it. He's going to join us a little bit later on video, so everyone should be looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, just what a game. If you look at the expected goal situation on like Money Puck or anything, you can kind of see the moment in the second period where the Senators just basically died. I mean, it's amazing what the Kraken were able to do to shut down Ottawa in the third period, holding a lead like that and allowing just about nothing on their own net. I mean, I'll get into my raving about the shutdown qualities and everything later, but just what a game. Love to see it. So, all right, let's hop over to chat. Sergeant Pickles, glad we didn't disappoint Beast Mode. Yes, no, cannot disappoint Beast Mode. Like Marshawn Lynch, love that he's there. They finally found him. Don't know where he was at the start of the game, but they found him and sitting on the glass. Love his reaction, pointing to his back, owner, on the back of the jersey. Love that. Let's see, honors, lol, yeah. Brian, you love to see it. Absolutely do. Great to have Beast Mode on board. That was such great news earlier today. Let's see, Sergeant Pickles, right into it. 3 studs. Beniers, Gord, Rask, deal with it, RJ. Yes. Oh no, yes. Rask had a great game today. I will eat crow on that one. I'm sure Dylan will make me eat more crow once he gets here. I'm going to try and save some of that for Dylan because I know he's going to want to talk about that. But absolutely, Beniers again, doing his thing, scoring a big goal there. And he was tapping his stick too, calling for that pass. I mean, he kind of orchestrated that the whole way. Yanni Gord, I mean, just nonstop hustle from him. He was awesome. And then, yeah, Victor Rask, he had a great game, I will admit. Stratic, it's interesting that the Kraken won with Marchand in the building, but lost with Russell Wilson in the building for the home opener. Give the puck to Lynch. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we know, Russ is no longer a Seahawk. But Beast Mode's got that Seattle connection forever. Yeah, absolutely. Go Marshawn Lynch over Russ, no question. Hunter, the power play is improving. What is going on? I know the power play. It just has this extra level of just dynamicness to it. It's crazy. They know what they're doing and what their purpose is. I mean, they have plays they're trying to run. There just seems like a lot more intent going on. And also, teams have to respect Matty Beniers and what he can do too. It's not like earlier in the year where you're kind of really low on skill. You don't have anyone you have to watch out for. Matty Beniers just creates so many more possibilities there on the power play. And then the way that Sprong and Victor Rask are playing too, that second unit is just as dangerous. When Daniel Sprong is on and he's, a dangerous one-timer option there on the power play, you see what it can do. I mean, we saw that tonight. And if you got Rask able to give him the puck, all the better. So yeah, great to see the power play improving. All right, we got Gregory. Beniers has brought a whole new energy to the team. It's amazing what one player can do for an organization. It really is. I mean, one player can make such a big difference. I know hockey, it's a very big team game, probably, more than almost any other major sport. You really need that team. You need the whole depth. But it's when you have a player like Matty Beniers, it can work its way down to, kind of everyone on the team too. A player like that, just, their habits, the excitement, the skill, it's infectious. And it really kind of, goes around into everyone. I think we're seeing that. Z Butler 206, Beast Mode and Matty with all around great time. Yes, I love it. I mean, the combination, you got Matty Beniers and the excitement with that. The couple new owners, Beast Mode, of course, having him in the building. Just so much excitement around this team. Like I saw, the Marshawn Lynch stuff, today on ESPN. It's on the front page of ESPN. It's a major sports story. I've seen this, like Sports Center's tweeting about it. Everyone's talking about it. It's a big story, not just in hockey, but in sports. It's great to have all that kind of attention around the Kraken now when they're doing such great things. Let's see. We got Barbara. Good morning. Sorry. Caught the last few minutes. It really looks like Matty woke the whole team up. It sure feels that way. I mean, this team is awake. They're playing well. They're playing with a purpose. They're certainly not just kind of going through the motions anymore. It feels like they have a reason, to go out and give it their all, and they're doing that every single game. Yeah, Stu, the kid looks good. He sure does. Brian, power play is better. Number 10 is here. Exactly. I mean, he just adds another dimension to it. And the second unit, too, they deserve some credit. I mean, with what Rask and Sprong have been able to do. Hang on, got to hydrate real quick. All right. We got Alex. Matty has scored 2, a gift to me and you, a victor's haiku. I like that. Alex throwing the poetry in here. Love to see it after a big Kraken win. Sergeant Pickles, 3 duds. Kachuk being a big baby. Kuhlman having a beauty taken away. And Driggs being out of place, giving me heart attacks. Yeah, okay, we'll get to all 3 of those. So Kachuk, yeah, I mean, it's such a punchable face. I'm sorry. I mean, you just look at him. I understand why Susi did what he did. Still don't support it because that's a bad spot in the game to go shorthanded. It's undisciplined, but I think a lot of hockey fans, not just Kraken fans, but from other teams, especially in the Eastern Conference, probably did enjoy seeing that. Carson Kuhlman, the beauty taken away. I mean, what an odd goal review, and they got the call absolutely right, by the way. I'm not complaining there. It was the right call. You look at the replay and it is clear that Yanni touched that puck with a high stick, but man, I've never seen that one before. I know that one of the big reasons behind that rule was the infamous Timo Meier hand pass that Blues fans still haven't stopped complaining about. But this is kind of that rule put into action where there's something there that should have stopped play earlier. But I certainly did not catch it on first look. Credit to the Sens video coaches. I mean, that's a tough job, and you have to look for things like that, and they certainly did their job there. And then, yeah, Drieger, I mean, he had a rough start to this game. He got better as it went on. But yeah, he did look a little shaky positioning-wise at times. Thankfully, it didn't turn out to bite them too much at any point. All right, Tom, so as part owner, does that mean Marchand can announce our draft picks every year? I would hope so. I bet he can. Maybe he could if he really wants to. I think that would be great. I'd love to see it. I don't think he will. I think he's got other things to do, but come draft time. But I would love to see that. Reading ID, what a game. Happy Beast Mode Zamboni Day to all who celebrate us. It's us. Yes, we are the ones who celebrate. Beast Mode Zamboni Day will never be forgotten. I just love him going for it while driving that Zamboni too. I mean, no hesitation whatsoever, just doing donuts on it. And I think we all enjoyed watching that. To be the actual, kind of Zamboni driver with him who has to monitor him on that's got to be nerve-wracking, but still a fun time, I'm sure. Let's see. Absurdly saying, woohoo, Hunter, no more Rask slander. Okay, I will cool it on the Victor Rask criticism. I mean, he has been playing really well, not just this game, but the last few games. Definitely deserves the praise there. Cameron, first game at CPA, first dub plus Matty goal. Let's go. What a blast it was. Oh, that's great occasion for your first game at Climate Pledge Arena. Not too many better that you could have seen. Just great atmosphere, I'm sure. And again, must have been awesome to be in the building. We'll hear from Dylan later exactly what it was like. But so happy for you, Cameron. Sergeant Pickles, he is our boy Marchand. He sure is. Striatic, OMG, if Marchand announces picks the draft, it would break hockey and football Twitter. Yeah, it really would. Just every pick too. That'd be awesome. And yeah, it was very active on football Twitter today too. I saw on one of the Kraken tweets with him driving the Zamboni. It was NFL Network was in the comments, just like, "Hey, can we use this on NFL Network?" And they're like, "Go for it." So definitely big in the football world too. Greg, team played like beast mode. I can't think of one player that played poorly. Chris Drieger was a bit slow, it seemed, but he had little action. Jonas, Yanni, Carson, and Matty, so much speed, physical. Absolutely. I put in my end of game tweet. The Kraken went beast mode on the Senators. They really played with that kind of tenacity, and everyone was involved too. No one took a game off. I like that you mentioned Jonas Donskoy. Good response. After being scratched. Yanni, Carson, like the speed too. I mean, there was a lot of speed in transition, which was great to see. Sergeant Pickles, I am more curious by the day to see pre versus post deadline team stats. Feels like they are so much more cohesive. It really does feel like that. And, and we can do a breakdown too, especially once, these last few games are over, of just looking, pre and post trade deadline. Cause I do think there was a big switch there. And call it addition by subtraction, call it what you want. But I think, the guys who are in the lineup now, kind of all know what they need to be doing. There's, not to call anyone, dead weight before, but there certainly is none right now. Everyone is contributing something. Alex, the tuna thrift shop. I'm going to clap some pucks. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. Gregory, yes, he does. Lindsay, woohoo, that's Kraken hockey, baby. Yeah, sure is. And I mean, let's hope this is Kraken hockey going forward. It feels like a different team. There were a few moments in this game where I was thinking, who is this team? We haven't seen these guys before these last few games. Just feels like a totally different team, and I love it. JMG, Beniers has rejuvenated the whole team. Exactly. Like I was just saying, everyone feels rejuvenated, energized. I mean, they're just good to go. Sergeant Pickles, oh yeah, my fourth stud, easily the Flying Dutchman, and I also noticed good work from Borgen out there despite a couple mishaps. Yeah, exactly. Daniel Sprong looked dangerous again, really took that scratch to heart, and Dave Haxtell said, I think it was this morning, that he had kind of sat down and talked to Sprong before the last game and, kind of outlined what he expected of him, said that his 200-foot game hadn't been as good as it needs to be, and really gave him expectations for what he needed to do going forward. And I guess that worked. I mean, good on Haxtell for kind of whatever he said must have worked, and good on Sprong for taking that message to heart. Lindsay, undefeated in the Marshawn Lynch ownership era. Now that's beast mode. Absolutely. 1-0 with Marshawn on board. Love to see it. Let's see. Hetty, most impressed that he was getting some defensive starts toward the end in a close game. So hyped for next year. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely earned the coach's trust for sure. I mean, we've seen that in the way that Haxtell talks about him. He's fully trusted by the coaching staff at this point. Stratic, Devils 3, Golden Knights 2. Ha 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 ha. Yes. No, I do love that score. I was kind of following along. That game had the same start time as the Kraken game. So all throughout, I was following that game. Definitely pleased with the result. Team anyone but Vegas. Gregory, who do you think we should draft in case we don't get Shane Wright? Good question. And, I'd probably defer to Dylan on that one. I've watched some of his scouting videos. I like some of the possibilities with Logan Cooley. I think he might be a good fit given, what's going to be around, him on the roster. But definitely need to do a little bit more scouting, need to watch a little bit more tape, and also hear what Dylan has to say, because he watches a lot more than I do, and I definitely trust his judgment on that. So stay tuned for his scouting videos too. They're great stuff. All right, Hunter. This is the best hockey this team has played all year, even after the trade deadline, which is crazy. It really is. I mean, this is just a different level of hockey that they're playing right now. More cohesive than just about anything we've seen, and able to put it together for 2 games in a row, which I'm pleased to see. It's something that we know the Kraken have struggled with. Can they get to 3 wins in a row at some point? It's going to be tough with the next one, with Colorado coming up. But the way that they're playing, and with how little Colorado has to play for, it wouldn't surprise me if they were really in that game. Let's see. Z Butler, need audio of Marshawn and Matty's first conversation, teaching Matty about keeping his chickens. Yes. Oh, yes. We need to get Marshawn Lynch talking to Matty Beniers and get some cameras there and mic them up for sure. That would be a great conversation. Ty, Matty with so many details tonight. Not enough characters available in this chat for them all. Long shift toward the end of the third. He had a huge read that likely stuffed a goal and got the clear. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you watch the details of his game and the things that he does in the defensive zone. It's brilliant. It's like players far older, far more mature than he is. He's just so developed, so mature mentally too, and he's got the skill to make that work for him. Love what he does defensively. I want to go do like a shift breakdown for him, but then he does it every shift. I can't pick a shift because they're all that good. So yeah, I mean, great observation there. Lindsay, that filled me with so much joy. Bye bye Vegas. Yeah, hopefully we'll see where it goes. Ty, you look and sound pretty good. Why, thank you, Ty. Close to returning to the press bridge. Hopefully, I mean, I'm going to be cleared after this Minnesota-Dallas road trip, so I'm going to try and return to all coverage activities after that, but I won't be cleared any sooner, so will not be in the press bridge for the Colorado game. Want to act out of an abundance of caution. Of course, got to be as safe as possible, but Dylan will be there. We'll have you all covered. Let's see, Ferris, Victor doing his thing, Dylan on top of the world at the moment. Oh, totally. I mean, right after he scored that goal, you see Dylan, just tweet in all caps, Victor Rask. He is loving it. Let's see, Sergeant Pickles, for the draft, in Ron we trust until I see otherwise. Not just Matty, but Evans and Winterton have great potential too. Yeah, I mean, so far, it's a 7-pick sample size, but it looks like Ron Francis and the scouting staff have done a great job drafting, and I have total confidence in them for this draft, and they've got a lot of picks to work with too, so interested to see who they go with. Lindsay, the video of Marshawn doing donuts on the Zamboni literally made my Monday morning. Such a hilarious video. Oh, yes. Fantastic video. I saw it's got, hundreds of thousands of views online already. Like it's done fantastic. And of course, it's just so fun to watch. Yeah, Ty, haha, save the Rask stuff for Dylan. He will for sure be all over it. Yeah, I'm going to save the Rask stuff for Dylan. No more Victor Rask talk for now because I'm sure Dylan will be all over it. Gregory, Sergeant Pickles, I can't wait for Evans. He's been a beast this year. Yeah, he really has. I mean, he's going to compete for a roster spot to start next season. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to do in training camp. Let's see. Where are we in chat? Okay, Stratic. Saying Yanni played that with a high stick is heightist. Refs should have given our short king some leeway. I know it's tough. You can play a higher puck if you're a taller player. You're just looking at shoulder height is what the rule is. Unfortunate. Maybe if he's 6'4" instead of 5'9", that's not a high touch. He doesn't have to make a high touch, but what can you do? Sergeant Pickles, Vegas down to 21% chance to make playoffs per 538. Love to see it. Never rule them out, though. I don't know. They just when you think they're out of it, they'll come back. Sergeant Pickles, I hope they get called into camp, but a year with the Firebirds in our system will probably be best. Yeah, and I'm sure Riker Evans will get some time with the Firebirds. I mean, hopefully, he forces the issue as much as he can, but I do think that would be best for his development. Ty, that last open net goal had Canner and Gord beating the defense back. What? The hustle. Yeah, I know you have Canner and Gord there, the two of them, and I saw Yanni barking at him too. I'm sure he was like, shoot it, do not drop it to me, don't drop it. That was fun to watch. Let's see, Sasquatch, hashtag Mackle mode, undefeated. Yes, I know, we've been talking about beast mode this whole time. They have another minority owner too, Macklemore. He was in the building. He even did a media availability. Dylan got to talk to him for a little bit, so that's cool. Alex, Beniers tied in goals with Donskoy now. I believe he is. But you know what? No shame being tied with Matty Beniers in goals over the season. Just don't worry about the games played. Lindsay, it's going to be a tall order, but we just might do the impossible and win 3 in a row with a dub over Colorado on Wednesday. It would be 3 in a row. As I mentioned, it would not surprise me if the Kraken were very much in that game, as good as Colorado is. Lindsay, but no Lind goalie kisses after a win. Oh, what? They didn't show it? That's a shame. Oh, wait, no, because he's a scratch. He's a healthy scratch. We didn't talk about that. Yeah, I mean, Cole Lind, I hated to see his name on the scratch list. I understand wanting to get Donskoy back in, and he definitely did respond. I think at this point, Hackstall might kind of be rotating guys in, trying to, send him messages, get him motivated, and it worked with Donskoy. We'll see if Lynn comes back in the lineup for someone else. See, Sergeant Pickles also noticed former Seahawks Sidney Rice hanging with Marshawn and had a Kraken jersey. Always cool to see guys who still live here after playing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there were some other Seahawks with Marshawn too. I think that there's a total of 4 that I saw. So that's awesome. And of course, like, it's great to see the players stick around, and you understand why. Seattle is a great place to live, great place to be. It's no wonder they want to stick around. So. Let's see. Ty, yeah, no Lind. Greg, do you think they will tender an offer to Kuhlman? If they can't get Blackwell to come back, I hope they do, assuming Donato will be signed for sure. I think Kuhlman is playing his way into a contract offer. Again, he's a free agent. I believe he's a UFA. Or is he an RFA? No, he might be an RFA. But yeah, if he's an RFA, certainly I think they'll qualify him. But he's playing his way into a contract, I believe. Medeiros, Kraken winning when I can't stay for post game. I'm sure, but good. Thank you for dropping by to chat, Medeiros. But hey, the win, that's what matters. That is what matters. All right, where are we in chat? Lindsay, I've been really impressed with Borgen's play lately. I get that we had a lot of options on D before the deadline, but it's crazy how little he played in the first half of the season. Yeah, and certainly when things weren't going well, because the Kraken had long losing streaks while Borgen was out of the lineup. I believe he missed the first 20 games or so. And we were all on Team Free Will Borgen. We all just wanted to see what he can do. And he really has come on lately. I think it was like 4 or 5 games ago, I thought his play was slipping a little bit, but he's certainly come back and played really well, especially these last couple games. I think the adjustment to activate the D a little more has really helped him because he's kind of sneaky good at it. He's got a good slap shot. He knows, when to kind of pinch in and whatnot. I think he has good instincts there, and that adjustment has helped him. Z Butler, it was great having Gio here, but I think he might have held up the leadership of Yanni. Gio just didn't have that energy. Yeah, I mean, it's you kind of want to defer to the veteran there, obviously. And Gio, still a good leader and someone clearly respected in the Kraken locker room. I mean, there's a reason the players, basically voted for him and decided to have him be captain to start the season. But in his absence, I do think you're seeing guys like Yanni Gourde step up a ton and kind of take that leadership mantle. And it's great to see guys stepping up like that. Reading ID, Kraken also undefeated in the Dylan Press Pass era. Yes, I mean, if you don't count those 2 games from earlier in the season where he got it, but let's not talk about that. Yeah, in the Dylan Press Pass where I can't be there era, undefeated, perfect 2-0, and I, again, so happy for Dylan that he gets to be there for some good games. Just checking my phone here to make sure that he hasn't texted me letting us know he's ready. I think you guys are going to like when Dylan joins us here. Got something cool for you, but won't say any more than that right now. Lindsay, if we can't get Shane right, I like Juraj Slavkovsky. I've been watching some tape and like the few highlights I've seen. Plus, he's 6'4", 218 at only 18 years old. Yeah, he's got great size. I mean, looks mature for his age. He was impressive during the Olympics. I think he, really attracted a lot of attention there. He'd definitely be another good option in that range. All right, gonna hydrate a little bit more. Medeiros. Okay, good. You can stick around a little bit. Things I noticed. Rask entering the zone with speed. Baby Beniers all over defense. In other games, a goal called back would have thrown us off our rhythm, but not tonight. Absolutely. I mean, that was a key moment there where, we've seen this so many times for the Kraken this season where they'll have a goal disallowed. Even if it's the right call, they'll have a goal disallowed and they just will not be the same team afterwards. But this team completely unfazed by it. And that just, goes to contribute to what we're seeing, where this is a different team. It just looks like a different team. The mental makeup, the leadership, just completely unfazed. You get this confidence about them where it's just like, yeah, we know we're going to get it done. Oh yeah, it's disallowed. Don't worry about it. Just keep playing our game. It's great. It's just awesome. Sergeant Pickles, I'm bummed that if the Sens had to score, it wasn't local Dylan Gambrell. He makes me the second most famous Dylan from Bonnie Lake, though. Yes, I know. It was good to see Dylan Gambrell, though, get to play a game, NHL game in Seattle. Yeah, of course, from Bonnie Lake. And I definitely saw some signs there in warm-ups, directed at him, like, welcome back, Dylan. So that was great to see. Yeah, and it would have been cool to see him get a goal. If someone on the Senators had to score, that would have been my pick, I'm sure. And, of course, Sergeant Pickles, a fellow Dylan from Bonnie Lake, would have been kind of happy about that a little bit. Brian, yes, Matty wins puck battles. He moves the puck 200 feet, wins defensive draws late, scores goals, points, and he instantly makes others around him better. For sure. He does all of those things. I mean, winning puck battles, that was really impressive from him tonight. I noticed a few of those, at key spots too. Wins the defensive draws late. You can see how well he's already trusted by the coaching staff there, to win those defensive draws and to be put out for those. Just awesome from Matty Beniers. Gregory pointed 6'4", that's a big boy. Yeah, he sure is, Slavkovsky. Alex, get Beniers a top flight winger for next year, please. I believe that's got to be in the organization's plans. They're gonna try and get him someone. Alex, glad to hear you're feeling better. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. Lindsay, I'm going with the theory that the Kraken are solar powered and therefore play better when more light is coming through the windows at the CPA. Bodes well for spring playoff runs in the future. Yeah, you know what? It does correlate a little bit, and we've seen those daytime games. They do well, too, and it's such a cool effect at Climate Pledge Arena. Just so great to see the light coming in. There's nothing like it in the NHL, and for playoff runs, it's going to be amazing. Let's see. Gregory, yeah, that's probably where they'll end up. JMG, Dylan so deserved the Rask fish toss. Yes, absolutely. Brian, 45 watching and 1 like. Okay, that can't be right. Yeah, see, we got 51 watching and 33 likes. We still can do better, though. Make sure, like the stream, everyone. Remember to like the stream. Alex, waiting for Dylan to bask in the Rask. Yeah, exactly. We are going to do plenty of that, I'm sure, once Dylan gets here. Striatic, a different hockey channel I follow, had Seattle possibly selecting Logan Cooley, who is committed to Minnesota men's university program. Yeah, I mean, Logan Cooley would be a good option. I know Dylan did his scouting video on Logan Cooley. I don't think it's out there on YouTube yet for the public. I know it was released on Patreon, so our patrons have access to it. But yeah, I could definitely see it being a good fit with kind of his offensive instincts as a winger. Working with Matty Beniers, they can both think on that high level. I think that would be a good fit. Sergeant Pickles, I have family in Palm Springs, so I absolutely plan to make a trip and catch a Firebirds game next year. Yeah, gotta do it. It's going to be awesome. And I know the Kraken are, reserving some tickets for season ticket holders. They want people to go down there and see a game. It's going to be great. And I know Dylan and I are going to make sure to get out there for at least one game. We've got family in Southern California. I mean, that's still where Dylan's based out of. So we're going to be sure to get there for a game. Alex, Gord definitely tapped his stick for the drop pass. I was dying laughing. Yeah, I know. He was tapping his stick. I was hoping he was just like shoot it or whatever, but it did look like he was calling for the drop pass. And, knowing Gord, he might have been. He's such a character. I love him. Yeah, that would have been funny. Reading ID, Pickles, it's going to be so fun to see the Firebirds get going next year. We're so blessed with a new team every year. Lol. Yeah, seriously. I mean, 2 years, 2 new teams. We'll get to enjoy the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Such a cool name. The jerseys look great. And we're going to have a lot of exciting prospects there too. TW Harm, what do you use for teeth whitening? I use this ring light out in front of me here. That's what I use for teeth whitening. It creates this nice effect, I guess. Valentina, can somebody please give my boy Donskoy the number to Drieger's sports psychologist, please? Yeah, I mean, there's someone who could probably, benefit from changing up a few things in the routine, perhaps. I did like his effort this game, though. You could tell he was clearly motivated. He did some good things. But overall, it's tough. The pucks are just not moving for him. And hopefully an off season will benefit him there. Brian reminded Kuhlman is an RFA. Okay, so he is an RFA. Then yeah, I think they're going to qualify him. That contract isn't that much. I think he's definitely playing his way into being qualified there. Excuse me. Let's see. TW Harm, do you think Hayden Fleury gets tendered? I feel like aside from Susie and Dunn, he's our best puck-moving blue liner. Now, that's a tricky one because Fleury's contract is definitely higher, than Kuhlman's and higher than most defensemen, his age at that point that, are still RFAs. I think it's be at 1.4 or something like that. I don't know. I think the Kraken are going to have to make a tough decision on him, and I think it depends on who else they bring in on the blue line. If they bring a right-handed puck mover or, someone significant like a Klingberg, then I think Fleury might end up going. We'll see. I don't know what kind of trade return they could get, given what that qualifying offer would have to be. I don't know. I'd give it 50-50 odds at this point. Let's see. Ty, Lars was bringing the hits. Love to see it. Absolutely. I mean, he's certainly not afraid to play physically at times, and he saw a lot of opportunities. This game did get physical. The opportunities for hits were there, and Larson took advantage of it. Wendy, 2-0 with me and Mark in the building, wearing Beniers' sweater. Nice. Glad you're able to be there in the building. Yeah, good luck charms there, and of course that Beniers jersey you got before the last game. It's got some good vibes to it, that's for sure. Lindsay, Gio is thriving in Toronto. I like him much better on that team. He had the OT winner with a snipe over the Sens the other night. Yes, I did see that one. That was a great shot too, coming in from the left wing and just beats the goalie from the faceoff dot in overtime. And I mean, again, as much as, it was good to have Gio here, I do think he is probably a better fit there, just given where the team is at, where he fits in on their blue line, and just the fact that it's his hometown team. I think Gio loved playing here, but there is nothing like playing for the team that you grew up rooting for as a kid. It's just, it's unmatched. And that's why John Tavares is there. I think that's one of the reasons Gio wanted to go there. And it's just a great fit for him, and glad to see him happy because, he served the Kraken well, and he deserves the success that he's got in Toronto. Lindsay, at Wendy, now you can never take it off. We need you there on Wednesday to make Kraken history with 3 wins in a row. Yes. Yep. Got to go on Wednesday now. I think we all know what you have to do. Tyler, do you think any top draft prospects are NHL ready coming out of the draft? Shane Wright, I think, is. And there's usually 1 or 2 from that kind of 2 to 10 range. Dylan would be the one to ask about NHL readiness. I mean, Slavkovsky, did well in the Olympics against men. He's got that size ready to go, so maybe he would be one. I don't know that Logan Cooley is really ready yet from what I've seen. Good question, yeah, but we can ask Dylan a little bit more about, kind of who's NHL ready, because he's got a much better eye for that kind of thing, especially, having been a scout, looking at the WHL, where you can really see development, and you've got to judge that a lot better too. Joey, I'm glad Gio's in Toronto. As a captain, I don't think he gave us much. He was at the end of his career, and rather have Gord as our captain next season. Yeah, I mean, I think he did a lot of really important things at the start of the season when everyone was new and just brand new franchise. You need someone who's going to step up there, who's going to, be an established voice, who's going to hold everything together and talk to the media and everything. And he kind of stepped up from day one. It's good to have someone do that who has done it before. So I will say that as far as what Gio contributed. As for Gord, I'd love to see him as a captain. I like Yanni Gord, and he's really stepped up as a leader here. Without Gio. Sergeant Pickles also, who gets the Davy Jones hat tonight? I wonder if Matty gives it to Rask or Driegs. Yeah, those are be 2 good options. Yeah, it'll be Matty's choice, which is interesting. We'll see kind of what he values in the whole Davy Jones hat, who he thinks should get it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That'd be cool if he gives it to Rask. I know Dylan would have a great time with that. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Scott, Kuhlman from Gord waved off. Yes, Yeah, there was a high touch there. It was the right call. The replay shows it. Really kind of obscure thing and not really on the play directly, but that's what the rule is. And Ottawa's video coaching staff got that one right. Way to spot that. And Sergeant Pickles, are we going to have the ECH playoff bracket challenge again? Yes, absolutely we will. That's going to be so fun for the playoffs. And yeah, everyone can sign up for that once they launch it. I think it's right as soon as the regular season ends. It'll launch, and we'll let everyone know on all the social media, everything. That's going to be really fun. And of course, we're going to have a cool prize for the winner. All right, so I am getting a text from Dylan here. He says he is ready to join. So let's get this ready for you. I think you're going to enjoy what is coming next.
Hey.
All right. We are here. Dylan, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, let's see. Why can't I hear you?
You can't hear me. Uh-oh.
You never know how it's going to go when RJ's running the stream. Here we go. All right, I can't hear you. Oh, I think I need my headphones, which of course are not right here. Okay, we can hear you on the stream, Dylan. Okay.
All right.
So let's
how about that
my
game?
Headphones can be brought to me, that'd be great. So everyone loved the loading Dylan screen. So Dylan,
awesome.
okay, for just tell us about the game. What was it like to be there as I put my headphones on?
It's what it was like. Yeah, I'm getting pretty used to these wins. Let me tell you, it's been pretty awesome to be here for back-to-back wins like that. And then just the way that they're happening, right? Kraken being a dominant team, certainly through the beginning of this game. Like, they were incredible. The sustained pressure they were able to put on Ottawa. Really, only the beginning of that second period was anything, ever iffy. I don't know if you can hear me yet, RJ.
Yes, I can hear you. We're good now.
Okay, awesome. And then, get another Beniers goal. Again, just becoming a regular occurrence for me being here. I'll take it. And then my boy, Victor Rask, first star of the game. Like, what else can I say? But I told you so.
I know. I knew the I told you so was coming. Of course. And yeah, we kind of even waited a little bit. I talked about Rask a little bit, but we knew that you were going to be all over that one. And I'll admit, Victor Rask, fantastic game tonight.
Yeah, and points in 3 straight games. He's really making some things come together, working well on that second unit power play, which it's been an issue all year. I mean, all the units of the power play have been an issue all year, but getting it going, and gotta love Sprong talking about, hey, I spent 2 years watching the greatest goal scorer of all time score from that spot, so I picked up a few things. Got it done tonight.
Hey, be a sponge when you can. Yeah, I mean, take advantage of being on the Caps. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, like, let's talk about, quotes, kind of post-game reaction, from the players, from Hackstall, from everyone.
Yeah, so, of course, first person did Victor Rask, and I have to, compose myself. Let me tell you, when he scored, that was the closest I've ever come to cheering in the press bridge. Like it was the only time I had this, visceral reaction to emote. Not even, Matty's first goal, right? So there was that, and I was all ready to go, and I like start to speak, and I got snaked. First question, I got snaked, and he basically asked the exact question I had been preparing,
Oh
since the
no.
second period or whatever, to ask him if
That
we
has
got him
happened to
for
me.
media. And I was just like, no. So I couldn't come up with anything good follow up. So unfortunately, didn't get to ask him a question. But
You got the
that
real
was cool.
experience now, though. I'll tell you, that's happened to me.
Exactly. Got to hear from Sprong. And then, when Hacksaw came in, got to talk about the fact that we're now hearing from two guys that are on expiring contracts. And there's a lot of guys on this team with expiring contracts. And what is Coach Hackstall looking from these guys to kind of, uh, evaluate them before next season and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, non-committal, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing much there as you'd expect. And it's not just his, opinion. There's a lot of people that are going to go into that. But did talk about how it is important to get contributions from guys like that, guys that are playing for contracts. Like that is something that teams, and especially a team like this, in a situation you're in now, I mean, when you have nothing to play for in a lot of ways, it's nice to have those kinds of guys around because they do have something to play for in a way that maybe some other guys don't. And so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell they're motivated. They're competing for roster spots. We had Sprong coming off a scratch there. Rask was very much in that territory. So, good to see them stepping up and you see the results of having depth, in the wins.
Yeah.
All right. So turning to chat, we got Bud. Any potential free agent targets we can sign in the off season? Yeah. So Dylan and I will do definitely a deeper dive on that, on our podcast, looking really kind of taking a deep look at all the options and seeing who we like. The obvious ones, Johnny Gaudreau and Philip Forsberg, because the Kraken need, elite scoring wingers, and those are the two guys that fit that description.
Exactly.
Yep. Striatic, Kraken only allowed 14, count them, 14 shots on goal. That's team identity front and center. Is that what the final total was? 14?
It was. And yeah, 3 through the first period.
That's incredible.
Just like, that's nothing.
And I saw with 7 minutes to go in the third, they'd only allowed 2 so far in that period too. So, what score effects? I mean,
exactly. I mean, that's
so great.
It's a byproduct of playing the entire game in their zone, with the exception of the start of the second period.
Right. Exactly. And
I saw in the
first two, shot bad. Attempts were low. Yeah, it wasn't even just shots, but shot attempts.
Yeah, they weren't even there.
Right.
Like, when you pause an NHL game, right? It's got the like time on attack or whatever stat there as all that stuff. Like I have to imagine it was just, like 10 minutes at the end of that first period. It was probably like, 10 minutes for the Kraken and like 50 seconds for Ottawa.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, 14 shots allowed. That is a franchise record for the Kraken. The previous low they had allowed was 18 against the Rangers. So good for them. That one might stand for a little while.
Yeah, they played fantastic. At 55-minute effort tonight, right? Yep. The beginning of the second was standing. And that was just, we've seen that from this team before, right? Just coming out sluggish after an intermission. It's just something that they do. But they were able to stop the bleeding and kind of compose themselves. Hackstall was asked, any conversations happen after that second goal? Just like, no, everybody knows that what they got to do, and you just got to start doing your job, go do all that stuff. It's like, all right.
Yep, that's awesome.
I know. I did my, jump the gun thing on Twitter. Uh-huh. Everybody saw, I'm sure, right? I was just like, pull the goalie, wake this team up, let's go.
Yep. Hey, you know what? You're right sometimes, maybe not other times. It's more art than science.
I was gonna say I'll stand by it because in the moment it was like, I mean, the Kraken were playing terrible. Like they could not do anything. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Sasquatch really liked how the Kraken responded after the poor start to the second. It would be easy for them to fold up the tent and move on, but they dug in and took back control of the game. I mean, yeah, we were just kind of talking about that, that resilience there, not letting things get to them. And we talked about this a little bit earlier too in chat, where after that disallowed goal too, that's something that in the past we've seen just destroy them. and
Yeah.
they were completely unfazed.
Right. Yeah, and let's take a look at who scored those 2 second period goals, right? It's Matty Beniers, who never takes a shift off and is going to go out there with his elite hustle and compete and all that stuff, and he's going to bring that energy to this team. We've talked about it for a long time. Everybody wanting him to take over a leadership role at some point in the future. Obviously, it's very early to be talking about that. And Victor Rask, who beyond having probably the best flow on the team, also playing for a contract, right? Like we talked about motivation, the stuff that gets these guys going in the kind of dog days of a season that you're not going to the playoffs. And that's what was the spark tonight for the Kraken and what got them turned around, and credit on the rest of the team for getting behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, Sergeant Pickles, we have to have one of the best blocked shot percentages.
Will Borgen was I was going to say, Will Borgen was fantastic tonight with that, by the way.
He was, and he's definitely gotten some love from chat on that too.
Okay, cool.
Will Borgen had a great game in that regard, and just did a lot of things right too. I'm happy to see that from him. Great for Borgen, and the block shots. They're so big in key moments. They really are. Okay, Dylan, I got a question for you. Is that I'm looking like right here? Are you like a Brian Burke your tie here? Or so, is there something?
No, it's that? It's just the lanyard.
It's the lanyard. Okay, I should have realized that. It's
inside out. Sure. Got my Star Wars.
Okay, see now I recognize it.
One beach scene going.
Nice.
Got to bring some color and some SoCal energy to everybody up here.
Yeah, I know they need
lots of looks. I get lots of looks about this lanyard in the elevators. Let me tell you.
Yeah, they need some of that energy though. That's good. All right, see, reading ID. Matty already eating fish and passing hats, and he's only 19. I see someone may have listened to the podcast.
I was gonna say there's my pet peeve right there. But he's fantastic. Obviously, point per game, 3 games. Is this a large enough sample size now, everybody? And 3 very different games from him. Right. Mm-hmm. Or certainly the way he's getting his points have been different in all of them, and some of the stuff he's been doing. We talked about it on that podcast. His tool chest is immense, and he can just reach in and pull out whatever is needed for that exact situation and opportunity that he's trying to create or that is presented to him. Kind of like how he's scored both of these goals, right? Those weren't necessarily him creating those chances for himself, but him taking advantage of something that was there and seizing the moment, quick thinking, and that's something that, again, it's very special, and not everybody can do that, and it just speaks to his abilities.
Yeah, absolutely, and so tough to defend.
So
we got a super chat from Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Hey,
thanks,
Brian.
Shout out to Dylan, who has taught me 2 things this season. 1, Adam Larson is that guy. He rocks dudes into the boards and rocks the deep V-neck. And 2, the answer is doors. Always, RJ, it's doors.
Let's go. Brian gets it. Let's go.
Oh man. Okay, he gets it on the first point. That's for sure. He really does. And I guess the super chat, I'm obligated to say that I can respect the opinion of number 2.
Hey, and how long till we get Victor Rask in there too, right?
Yeah, there we go.
What I don't know what else he's got to prove to y'all. I really don't.
He has looked fantastic.
I'm explaining to everybody on the press bridge. I'm like, you guys don't get it. I'm a Victor Rask guy, and everyone's like, are you the only one? I'm like, maybe, I don't know. But I was on this, pre-expansion draft.
You were.
Take it from Minnesota.
You said he should be the pick from Minnesota, which again was terrible value-wise, but I mean it shows your commitment there. You were on it.
Yeah, and Susie has been fantastic all season long. Don't give me about 10 goals
I mean,
from
that's
him.
why you don't do it, because
the
you
defense,
can get a
everything
Susie instead. But
yeah, and I've admitted several times I had not done the research on Susie. I did not know what he was and who he was and what he could bring to a team. So I was working off of what I knew, which was Victor Rask. And it's still very, very good.
As hockey people do. You work with the people with what you've seen. That's how scouts are.
Exactly.
Stratic, Drieger only had an .857 save percentage. That's how few shots he faced.
That is a problem. And I almost wonder if some of his struggles tonight on some things, particularly that first goal,
Hmm.
was just because he wasn't getting any opportunity to get warm, be in the game, like to just be present mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it's
when
so
you
tough for a
you face
goalie.
3 shots.
14 shots all game. I mean, that is tough mentally. And in some ways I'm glad it was Drieger back there and not Grubauer. No offense to Grubauer, but we know he struggles with that sort of thing. I just think it's a different animal in itself to stay in the game like that. And credit on Drieger for, being good at the end where he needed to be.
Exactly.
And all right, all the reactions to the loading Dylan screen.
Yeah, there we go.
Alex CPA 5, I like that. Yeah, it is the
Yes.
GTA theme. That's great. Way to notice that. I know our graphic designer will enjoy that.
Yeah.
Afra, OMG, where in the world is Dylan
Uh,
Travers? This is gold. Okay, yeah, they love that. I knew they would.
it's
Um,
it's fantastic.
Yep. Tyler, the Kraken are 2-1 with Beniers in the lineup, but should be 3-0. You can tell that his presence on the ice gives those around him a boost. A new exciting era of Kraken hockey is here. It sure is. This just looks like a different team. And Dylan, I don't know if you had the same thought, but watching this game, there were several moments where I'm just like, who is this team? Like, what? Who are these guys? I haven't seen them this season. This is a different Kraken team with some of the things that they're doing.
Nope, I had those same thoughts. I think everybody's having those thoughts right now, because it is just so obvious that they are a different team with him there, and that's not an unheard of occurrence, right? The new kid comes in, kind of breathes some new life into the organization and into the team, particularly on a season that is not, like we said earlier, it's in a lot of ways over already,
Hmm.
even though you have to finish out these games, and it gives you something to play for, right? Everybody knows this guy is going to be a focal point for this roster for years to come. And everybody wants to set him up to succeed, and they want to get him going, and they want to make his transition into the NHL go as well as possible because it's important for them as his teammates. It's important for the franchise, for the organization, for the fans. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to do right by everyone else in these kinds of situations, and so it just kind of leads to these new things. And then yeah, you wonder if maybe because he's coming in, you're not going to try to force too much on a rookie, and maybe Hackstall's just kind of letting everybody go a little bit. Just go out there, play. Let's finish out the season, and let's see what we can do with him.
Yeah, exactly. Good point there. And Lindsay asking if you're in the sensory room, I'm sure probably in response to, me not be able to hear you, but I am curious, where are you?
I was gonna say apologies if this makes anyone sick, but
Yes. Yes. Let's go. There it is. You're
yep,
actually there. Proof.
yep, proof. That's either that or a very intricate Discord background.
Yeah, I mean, that'd
Could
be
just
pretty
move like
amazing
that.
if you could just move it like that, get it to look that way. But yes, Dylan is actually there. He
Yeah, no. If I'm distracted or looking off camera, it's just because I'm like looking out at Climate Pledge, and it's just really awesome, cool.
so glad you get to do that. That is great. Let's see. Going through the chat here. Yeah, everyone reminding me that I need
Yeah.
headphones. I should have thought of
Yeah.
that.
Any
um,
love for Hayden Fleury and what he was doing tonight?
yes, there was. I know someone mentioned Flurry earlier, but let's talk about him.
Because he looked like he was back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the last game, okay, returning to the lineup. He's talked about that before, whether it's been being a healthy scratch injury, whatever, and coming back into the lineup after that kind of stuff, and the stuff that you go through, and you got to kind of catch back up to game speed. And I thought Hayden Fleury looked a lot better tonight than he did the other night.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He looked back to me, and it's tough when you're coming back from an injury that kept him out as long as he was, and also, what very much looked like a head injury. Those
Yes,
can be really
and
tricky.
And I was going to say, I think he's taken a different approach to
Mm-hmm.
coming back and rejoining the lineup. It seems like he's focused a lot more on the little things right now and just working on his fundamentals, being solid defensively, right? He's not really jumping up into the offensive play like we're used to seeing from him that much right now. I think he's kind of learned from those previous prolonged absences, and is just trying to work himself back in slowly and make sure that his game is solid before he starts wheeling and dealing, flying all around.
Right, and that's wise. That's a good idea. Good to keep those expectations there. Um, let's see. Oh, they need Stratic. They need one of the loading screens to be Dylan in Toronto submitting Victor Rask's nomination to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
That would be awesome. We do need that.
Yes, we'll have our graphics guy get on that.
Yeah.
Oh man, and Stratic again. Wait, Dylan has non-tank tops.
I know, right? It's a big shock, but already I'm not wearing a suit like a lot of the other journalists and reporters do, right? I don't know that I could just go straight to tank top.
Yeah,
gotta ease them into it with the lanyard first.
There you go. Yeah, get people used to the lanyard to start. Sergeant Pickles, like the hockey guy, you should have an ECH Hall of Fame. Dylan would submit Rask. I would submit just the Lars Deep V. Oh, that'd be cool. We have a Hall of Fame, just different things.
We could certainly come up with something like that. That would be fun.
Yeah, just do, that'd be a cool end of season thing every year.
Yeah.
Just to have our
change up what we call it a little bit, just so we're not totally stepping on his toes. But
yeah.
it would be good. We could come up with something good. I am so bummed I didn't make a bet with our entire community for if Victor Rask gets X amount of goals or points before the end of the year, everybody's got to go buy me a jersey or something, man. I'd have 4 jerseys.
Yes, I'm sure you probably find some takers there. Oh man,
I could have set it at over 2.5 points and people would have taken it.
Oh yeah, set the line there. Yeah, people would have. Oh man, we got Scott. Any update on Schwartz yet, or do they shut him down for the year? No updates from Hackstall. I mean, we're not going to get one until he's back. If or when he's back. Although Dylan, you did see him the other day.
Did see him at morning skate the other morning. Came out kind of after everybody was finished, just kind of puck handled around a little bit, and then skated off. Not very long on the ice at all. That being said, was in full pads, so there is something there. But yeah, just very very low energy kind of thing. Just getting a little bit of work in.
Yeah, it doesn't seem close at all. I would be very surprised to see him in a game this season.
Me too.
For the remainder of the season. So, Sergeant Pickles, am I a bad person that I constantly forget Turbo and Schwartz are on the team? No, you're not. I mean, Schwartz, Schwartz has just been gone for a while, and Turbo's been gone for a long time. And as much as obviously we'll never forget him or anything, but just not seeing him in the lineup, not having him kind of built into our minds there. Yeah, it happens, and he hasn't really done a whole lot of the public facing stuff that we thought might happen.
Yeah, that's been unfortunate. I was really hopeful for that and looking forward to it. But that being said, I kind of fall into that boat too. Certainly, you and I, RJ, when we're in it every day, it's when those guys aren't around, it's easy to kind of forget about them a little bit. And we've heard thousands of athletes talk about when they're injured and stuff like that, how isolating it feels because they're away from everybody and everything. And it is one of those things now, covering a team every day where you're really focused on it. I totally see what they're talking about, because when they're not at practice every day, they're not doing the media availabilities and all that stuff. I feel like there's a loss there. You know what I mean? I can't even imagine what it's like for their teammates and then for them themselves.
Exactly. It's one of those things that's not talked about all that often, but it's really tough on those athletes when they get hurt. Gregory, Dylan, who should we draft if we don't get Shane Wright? Yeah, that was a question from earlier. I said you'd probably have a better answer on it than I would, and I know you'll kind of delve further into that as the season ends too. But anyone you're leaning on if you got the second pick?
It's close because there's a lot of guys that are very different from each other, and I've really only looked at the top 4 North American guys. I'm really excited to go look at the Europeans and stuff before I would definitively say anybody. That being said, I did enjoy Logan Cooley a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I did mention Cooley's name to Gregory a little bit, and I know you kind of like the fit there. So
he's got that special something when it comes to scoring. And he looks like one of those guys where he's got that touch that can't be taught, and I like when somebody has an aspect of their game like that. I think if the Kraken were to really fall in the draft, I like Connor Geeky a lot. I like his size. I like his vision, especially. He's very, very smart with his vision and his passing. I don't know that you'd want to take him at 2 per se.
Yeah.
And then I've been, working on this Savoy video, trying to get it out for everybody, but life keeps getting in the way. But he's a very creative, kind of dynamic winger. But there's a little part of me that's just questioning how much of it's going to actually translate to the NHL.
Yep. No, that makes sense. JMG, any news on how Tanev's rehab is going? Obviously no official news, we're not going to hear anything on that until, training camp or so.
Yeah.
I've seen him around occasionally and he's walking. I mean, there's that. That doesn't really tell you anything, but he seems in good enough spirits. Reading ID, Pickles, I could never forget Turbo. Schwartz, though, feels like he's barely been around this season. Yeah, it's tough because he's been just kind of in and out of the lineup, too. It hasn't just been, one big injury and like, he's sidelined. It's just, I don't know, get him for a little bit, lose him for a little bit. It's been tough.
It's been unfortunate for sure.
Ty, dang, he plays good for 3 games and you drop an I told you so. Rolling the dice, bro. Hope he doesn't suck because we will remind you. Too fun. His Corsi, though.
I'm just saying, it's been great. It's been fantastic since he's been here.
Yeah, you're never going to get Dylan to back off of this. He's all in. Sergeant Pickles, Turbo is always in my heart, but I have almost forgotten what it looks like to see him play. Yeah, with the frowny face, the crying emoji. I know.
Thankfully, highlights live forever.
They do. I saw
he scored a lot of goals earlier this year that were a lot of fun to watch.
I know. I saw a couple of those on a highlight reel the other day, and it just made me so happy. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this next season.
Yeah.
Tyler, going back to Dylan, do you think any of the top draft prospects are NHL ready coming out of the draft? Yeah, that was another question, was NHL readiness, aside from Shane Wright.
I don't know. Again, I've only really in depth looked at those top 4 NA guys. Shane Wright's the only one in my opinion.
All right.
They all have stuff that they need to work on before they can make the jump.
Yep. Lindsay, the best flow on the team from Victor Rask. Excuse me, this is branded Tanev erasure. Yep. Speaking of Tanev there, Dylan.
You know what? Victor Rask has a little bit more volume to it. I feel like if he wanted to style it a little bit differently, I feel like he could. Like maybe really get like a nice, some lift or something. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. Because Tanev, it's always wet. Have you noticed it's always wet?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think his hair is kind of like mine, where as it dries out or whatever, it can get really straw-like and frizzy and whatever. And it might be a little bit of a mess, but we've seen Rask's dry and it still looks good.
I think you're going to catch some flack for that one. We'll wait for the chat to catch up, but we'll see if we get any responses there. Alex, I definitely thought those were suspenders at first. I did think that.
Yeah, I put the waders on to go out into the, the creek or whatever after this. Some late night fishing.
Yeah, nothing better. Let's see. Absurdly saying he surely meant currently playing. No one beats Turbo's flow. Well, there you go. Maybe he didn't mean currently playing.
I gave reasoning. I gave my reasoning.
You always do. And I respect that. But let's see. Sergeant Pickles, unless another candidate steps forward, Dylan has the best ECH flow. I may be in the running for playoff beards, though. I've got to agree. Dylan, for ECH community, I haven't seen anything that matches that. I certainly don't hold a candle. So, no question there. Not in competition in the slightest.
I know, and I gotta start doing more stuff with it. Like I gotta try to make mine go really curly or get layers back in there or something. Like I don't know, everybody. Should I try for the Zegris layered kind of almost feathered thing?
Ooh, that can be interesting. Yeah.
Just go old school Gretzky.
All right, tell chat what you want to see there. And the reading idea. I'm prevented by YouTube from replying with a photo essay of turbo flow discrimination.
Send me one picture with his hair not wet. That's all you need to do.
There we go. I feel like you two are going to have this out on Twitter, and people are going to pile on here. All right. Gregory, I just realized that next Thursday I will be twice Beniers' age, SMDH. Yeah, I mean, these younger players keep coming in. They do make you feel old, that's for sure.
Yep, my draft year would have been 2012. A long
Yep.
time ago now, 10 years ago.
Yep. I'm think I'm gonna hit UFA next year, so
Yep. The
um,
other thing is once my birthday hits at the end of next month, RJ, we will have like known each other and been friends for half of my life.
oh, cool. Wow.
So
Yeah.
that thought occurred to me. It'll be
Nice.
14 years. It's a long time.
That's great. Scott, welcome to Macklemore and Beast Mode. Yeah, what was it like having those two in the building? And good
Okay.
on you finally locating Beast Mode there.
Yeah, so that was definitely everybody's like job kind of throughout the night was trying to figure that one out. Um, it was a lot of fun, and I got to say when I was like really hustling to get in there for the media availability because it was early and I was getting into the city and all that kind of stuff, hustling to get there. I forgot that Macklemore was going to be at 5:15. Okay, so
Right.
I just knew it was players at 4:50, Hackstall at 5:30. So I was like, all right, let me just get there for Hackstall. So I finally get there. I get all through the arena and everything, get my press credential, go in. I open the door to the press room, and I'm like just gonna make a beeline straight for the chairs. And I almost just like completely like run right into Macklemore as
Oh
he's
no.
coming from the back of the room to go up to start his press conference. I'm just like, whoa, okay, sorry. He's just like,
Wow.
hey, and he walks by.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was just like the start of my evening tonight, and
Set
it
the
was pretty
tone.
cool. You can just see though how excited he was. Like that whole press conference, if you see anything about it, he is just so pumped up for this and so excited for it. And Marshawn's Marshawn. You know what I mean? Like he's pumped and excited in his own ways. And yeah, he was down there for a long time at the glass there, enjoying it. Looked like had some family with him and stuff. I know Macklemore had his kid with him. The
Hmm.
Easter with the Easter basket still rocking that. It was pretty cool. So just happy to have them around. They're going to be great like ambassadors for the team, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
For sure. I am looking forward to Marshawn, especially in that, the you could play role and um yeah, letting, maybe some non-traditional hockey fans, get into the sport. It's awesome. And this is one thing you love to talk about too, is getting like national attention on the big,
Yeah.
sports news stage. I saw Sports Center was talking about Marshawn driving the Zamboni. It was on the front page of ESPN. It was everywhere. I saw just, even non-sports news outlets talking about it. That's again the kind of attention, the kind of publicity that hockey needs.
Exactly. And the local stuff too, right? I don't know if Valentina's in here, but as we just talked about back on Saturday, right? It'll help with that stuff for sure too.
Yep, no, for sure. Uh, let's see where are we. Reading ID. Happy birthday, Gregory. Matty definitely looks his age times two, so you're in good company.
That
Yeah.
is true. That's a good one. Yeah.
Um, Absurdly Sane. John and JT talked briefly about how he was maybe on his way out of the NHL and that he really seems to be seizing the opportunity to revive his career. Who are we talking about at this point? Was it Sprong? Rask? Rask. Gotta be
Yeah,
Rask.
yeah, of course, it's my boy. No, and it is true. Like it's totally true. If you look at everything and what was going on. That being said, you never know. Changes of scenery help a lot. Changes of systems, changes of teammates. He talked just about getting his confidence back since he's been here, playing with this team, playing with these guys, being put in the positions that he's been put. Just with this team, he's out there on that second unit power play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he's being given opportunities and he's seizing those opportunities. And so I think all that stuff, really plays into it.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, move down to chat. Scott, let's go Kraken. Never a bad time for one of those.
Nope, never.
Tyler, Donato scored the first goal in Kraken history. Donato also scored when Beniers got his first point, first Kraken draft pick. What's next?
Yeah.
I'm predicting Donato scores first Kraken goal in the playoffs. Oh, that'd be something.
Ooh, that'd be really cool. I was gonna say, what are the odds we get him bookending the season?
It wouldn't surprise
That'd
me.
be pretty cool.
It would
It's
be.
had to have happened before for other teams, but like that's got to be something really neat.
Yeah, no, definitely. Um, let's see. Peter, with Schwartz and Turbo guaranteed roster spots, and Francis most likely going after a scoring winger, who do we sign with Donato, Sprong, Rask? So like,
Probably just Donato,
yeah, probably just Donato.
realistically.
Yep. As much as Dylan would be on board with
I
Rask,
know,
probably just that.
I know, but yeah, that's gonna be what it's gonna be. We've heard Ron talk so many times about how aggressive he wants to be in free agency. He's not just gonna go after one, whale,
Yep.
right? Like that's not what it's gonna be. He is going to really try to tweak this roster and tweak its identity and set things up for this next season. So
Yep. Let's see. TW Harm here. Do you think there's an actual chance Ron pulls the trigger on one of Gaudreau or Forsberg this offseason? He's got the ammo to do it. He's got the money to do it. Yeah, he's absolutely going to be looking at that. See if they stay, if they go, if they want to play, but definitely a chance.
yeah, as is the case with all GMs, with all free agents, if they're comfortable with the price tag, like if the deal is there to be made, they're going to make it.
Yep.
It's just going to be a question of in a year where it is not a deep free agent class, and they are the two guys that are obviously kind of a step above. What kind of bidding war gets going for them? And is he going to feel comfortable with where those numbers might end up? That's going to ultimately be the determining factor, I think.
Yep, agreed. JMG, when is the draft lottery? Should be shortly after the playoffs start.
Yeah, that's usually when it is. But I mean, do they wait? They might wait until the playoff schedule comes out before they announce the exact date, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's probably what they're going to do. It's usually pretty close to when it actually happens. Sergeant Pickles, random question, but I had this thought. Are jersey swaps a thing in the NHL? Was waiting for the Gruby-Stutzla interaction. Not like on the ice after the game, like in football. Sometimes I feel like I've seen that at some point before. Definitely not as common, but it's kind of the thing that would happen in the locker room after the game.
Exactly. It's one of those things where if they get the chance to meet each other after the locker room, if the visiting team doesn't have to leave too quick or anything like that, either that or the equipment guys will take care of it for them. Similar to baseball,
Yep.
right? The bat boys and everything behind the scenes, really kind of get that stuff done. And it's a similar situation here. But yeah, it's usually something like special. Like I'm pretty sure the Kachuk brothers have done it before. But again, it was also just like family photo op time. So
right. Okay, so now we're getting to the comments here about the Victor Rask hair situation or
oh
general.
boy.
Jake first says the Wild is my other team, so I'm still being hesitant about Rask. Understandable. Definitely, if you see him play for the Wild, makes sense.
Yeah.
Lindsay, talking to Reading ID, I will join you in making a 30-page photo essay / dissertation. So they're going to pile on. Sergeant Pickles says blasphemy.
All right. Here's the point I will cede to you guys is Tanev has the length right? Like obviously it's longer and it's better longer. I feel like Rask is kind of caught in that in between like having something like mine where it's not quite shoulder length versus being long. Like his is just kind of in that spot where it's like tickling his shoulders and whatever a little bit. And the cut could be better. I'll cede those two things, but I stand by the the like texture and everything.
All right, covering the important things, going into detail here. Reading ID.
He's got better natural shine to it too. Just gonna say that.
Reading ID. I try to keep a low profile on Twitter, but I may have to break my vow of silence.
Oh boy.
Turbo agenda.
I can't wait to check Twitter after all this.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
Everybody coming after me.
Tanev's body rejects clothing. Don't you understand? He needs to be constantly wet in order to have a fluid layer between he and his clothes, and hair gets mixed up in all that.
All right. I can buy that.
Let's see. Lindsay, Dylan just casually bumping into Macklemore like it's no big deal. Lol.
It's the only way to play those situations.
You don't get starstruck by anyone except Victor Rask, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. I think I blushed. I'm not gonna lie.
Love it.
But yeah, I've never had that issue. I guess I was fortunate enough to grow up certainly in an area where there's lots of celebrities that you'll just kind of bump into in weird situations or whatever, and then to work in sports to get that stuff, and then in the film industry and going to school for all that, whatever. Like I've just kind of always been around it, and you learn pretty quick that they're just people.
Yep, it's true.
Except for Victor Rask.
Yeah, apparently. Tyler, was Joe Thornton already in the NHL before Beniers was born? Yes, well before. Yeah. Thornton was in the NHL in 97, so well before. Sergeant Pickles, question to RJ and Dylan: were you Lynch fans back when, because he's a Bay Area and Cal guy?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved how Marshawn Lynch is played, and I know my brother and I actually, my brother I think got this Marshawn Lynch Cal jersey, patch card when we were on a vacation somewhere, and he got that, and I was trying to trade for it so hard for so long. It was one of our prized sports cards that we had. That was a big deal. And then of course I'm a Raiders fan, so when he went to the Raiders, I was thrilled about that, and it was so fun to be able to watch him on my favorite team. And of course him being from the Bay Area, I know he liked it too, so that's my side of it.
Yeah, I don't have the Raider connection, even though I come from a Raider family, obviously, Houday. But I always loved his style of play. Now, my father worked for a little while when we still lived in the Bay Area when I was really young at Stanford. So no love for Cal at all anywhere in me. My sister almost, was applying to grad school there, and I was just like, you don't need to. You don't want to. She's not going there, so I can breathe easy. It's all good. But yeah, no, I grew up rooting for the Cardinal. I can't do it.
Yep, no, good.
But I liked him. But I liked Lynch back in Buffalo just because of the style he ran with. You could just tell, he was just awesome to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see. Ty, we hit 25 wins. Yes, we did. I mean, how many of us thought that would happen, a month and a half ago?
I know. It was pretty wild.
Yep. Reading ID, breaking news, the hat goes to Lars. Adam Larson gets the Davy Jones hat. Dylan, what do you think?
Okay.
Does it show that Matty has good taste?
I think so. It's probably for that big hit he laid out. I mean, that was pretty awesome to see. It shook the building. It really did, let me tell you. Yeah, game recognized game, right? Solid fundamentals, recognizing solid fundamentals.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, people talk about Larson deserved the hat. Okay, let's see. Sergeant Pickles got to go to bed. Good night, everyone. And yeah, I will say, Dylan, we're at about a minute 18 here. So thank you for staying with us. I know it's been a long time.
A whole minute.
I mean,
it's all right.
An hour and 18
minutes.
You've been
doing this. Yep, you've had to really go through these long ones. Props to you,
Dylan. I have so much respect for what you do. The transition, the changeover. It's like 6 different steps, and you got to do it all in order, and then you forget your headphones. Oh my gosh, Dylan.
It's a lot, but you did it. You handled it like a champ tonight. You've been awesome doing these, and again, it's the same thing. I talked about this with Scott from Chief Seats during the game. Like, we're just both locked into what we do at this point. Like, because I'm sitting there in the media availabilities, trying to record, trying to make sure I take the picture, make sure I get the tweet right and quote it all properly and all that stuff. And I'm just all like stressed out and frantic, much like you are when you're handling the stream. And it is pretty funny.
Yeah, we really have gotten used to our respective
I don't feel like
here.
I don't feel like I'm like clued in on really what I should be like taking video or picture of during the game and stuff.
Yep.
It's funny.
But it's fun to get the little Freaky Friday reverse rolls here.
It is.
It is. See. Everyone gets to watch it live too.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Oh man, we've still got so much chat. Try and wrap this up soon. TW Harm, I love how much disdain Lars seems to have for getting attention from the Kraken social media /photography crew. Dude just wants to play hockey. It's true.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Vince Dunn, cult leader. Kraken GC calls Rask bonus Tanev.
I mean, it's the way it is. We've heard fourth Tanev brother, all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Like it's obvious why, right? Like
Yep. John, popping in chat here. How much longer does Gretzky have as the GOAT? Won't last long now that Matty is in the league.
yes.
There
I
we
don't know.
go.
It's always interesting. The one thing about Gretzky is I feel like he's given away that title to about like 4 or 5 different people over the years. Just talking about things. I really think it's one of those things where you almost have to start setting up different eras and talk about the best player of that era and that time in the league and all that kind of stuff as my earbud falls out. But I'll get it in a sec. And it's one of those things like NASCAR has 3 separate distinct eras, and they'll only lump records together in those eras. And I feel like that's one of those things that certainly in a sport like hockey where it's changed so much, equipment has made it change so much, all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's something that should be explored more. It's not quite like baseball where it's for the most part since dead ball era ended, it's been the same. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you have like steroid era and whatever in there, but hockey, I mean, so much has changed over the years. So much has changed in our lifetimes, RJ.
It's true. It's true. The game looks very different, from how it did in the mid '90s. That's for sure. Yeah. So I think that it's definitely big differences in era. John also pointing out they saw Cam Chancellor, Cliff Averill, and Sidney Rice sitting with Marchand at the game. Yeah, I did see them, and the Kraken posted a picture too. So cool to see other Seahawks around and sticking around. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Stratic, they're all just people except for Victor Rask, Dylan Travers. Got the quote ready.
Exactly. And if you notice, I did not say what he was.
Yep. We'll leave that mystery for everyone.
Yeah.
Big Lars hat. Reading ID. Oh, we stand the hometown hero, Marchand. Today is a banner day for me. Yelling about the Kraken here in Oakland. Oh, that's awesome. Yep.
There we go.
Bay Area Kraken fans. It's a good day. He supports Oakland just like he supports Seattle. He's a real one. He absolutely does.
He is
so active in the community. He is awesome.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic in just about everything he does, really.
Yep. Ty, you get to spend the day with one Kraken, Rask or Lars?
Probably Lars.
Yep. And I mean,
I'll stick with the OG love, right?
Yep. Gotta do it. Yeah, Lindsay make fun of me for a minute 18. Yep. Imagine if we did like a rapid fire speed post game that lasted 1 minute 18 seconds.
Hey, the first 2 media availabilities felt like that. Victor Rask was like 2.5 minutes, and then Sprong was out of there in like 3.5, and we were just like, all right, we're all like leaving early. I was like, okay, well, this is good for RJ. We can get in there. If he's feeling under the weather or anything, I can get in there. And then it just took forever for the.
That'll happen sometimes. It's always tough to get the last one out of there. See, Stratic, I have this weird feeling the Kraken get PK Subban as a UFA. 1-year deal. He tries to make a comeback. Sold at deadline for a 3rd round pick. I could see it.
I could see it too.
He's the budget shot defenseman.
I was going to say that would be the only thing. I don't see him fitting in like play style wise, really.
Yeah.
Like, what does he do? Does he run your second unit here? Like,
with how Soucy's playing, you don't really need that.
And I feel like, yeah, given how deep the Kraken are on defense, he's looking at best second pairing.
You don't want him on your second pairing either. Like,
yeah, no. And so if he's going to take a discount to go somewhere to try to like kind of resurrect what's going on, he's not going to choose a situation where he's going to get limited ice time like that.
Yep. Agreed. All right. So we've got, I think everyone's kind of saying good night, going. I mean, we've still got like 50 people in here, which is crazy.
Awesome,
so that's again why I keep it going here. Cause like, look at that. I know. But yeah, I think it is time to go. Yeah, we've got Brian, Lars, Rask, and Doors, Dylan Travers. There we go.
Yep,
Get the Dylan quotes in here. Yeah, Lindsay. Okay, let's get RJ some sleep and purge all the COVID from his body. Night all.
This is what we're gonna leave it on. Kraken won Saturday. Kraken won Monday. Am I here for the Kraken's first 3-game win streak?
I think we'd have to admit you are the source of the magic if that's the case.
Well, I will say my parents waited and day of got some pretty cheap tickets and came. My mom wearing that Matty Beniers jersey again. So
Yep, they
they
let
were
me
in the
know in
building
chat.
again. It could be them too. So it'll be interesting to see if they don't go on Wednesday and they lose. We know it was them.
Yep, that's true. We'll
And
know that.
if it's them, we know it's my mom because it sure as heck isn't my dad.
Yep, no in your family. I know that one. But anyway, let's hope it's you. Make it happen, Dylan. Let's go for 3 in a row in a couple days and have everyone join us afterward for the
It'll be
biggest dance party that we've had.
it'll be nuts too if they do it against Colorado.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we'll get our giant beater moniker back after those
Yes.
Florida games. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I know you're ready for it, and I know everyone in chat is. Yeah, join us in a
Awesome,
couple
awesome.
days. We're gonna have a great time, and thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Yeah, we'll see you next time.